My key didn't work. After 43 years, my own front door rejected me. I stood there on March 15th, 2:34 p.m., still wearing my hospital discharge bracelet from Phoenix General. Heart surgery takes a lot out of you, but finding out your daughter-in-law changed the locks while you were unconscious, that hits different. The new smart lock blinked red. August Pro 4th generation, $279. I know because I've been paying for everything in this house since my son Daniel married Savannah Pierce 3 years ago, but she had no idea what she'd just done. I smiled, reached for my phone. Sometimes the quietest people hold the loudest cards, and I was about to play a hand that would change everything. Let me back up. 3 days earlier, I was having my second heart surgery at Phoenix General. Widowed for 2 years, living with my son and his wife in the house I bought in 1981. 3,200 square feet in a nice suburban neighborhood. Current value, $850,000. I thought I was helping them. Thought we were family. While I was having my chest cracked open, Savannah was busy. Busy changing locks. Busy redecorating. Busy posting on Instagram about our fresh start. And finally making this space our own. I walked around to the back door. New lock there too. Schlage deadbolt, another $150. The windows I'd replaced last spring were locked from inside. Through the kitchen window, I could see my wife's china cabinet was gone. The dining room table where Martha and I hosted Thanksgiving for 26 years. Replaced with some modern glass thing. A restoration hardware dining set. I looked it up later. $4,200. My hands shook, and it wasn't from the surgery. I called my son. Daniel picked up on the fourth ring. Dad, you're out? How are you feeling? I'm standing in the driveway, Daniel. My key doesn't work. Silence. Long silence. Oh, yeah. Savannah mentioned she was, updating some things. Security upgrade, you know. She's got the new keys. Security upgrade? Son, I've lived here since before you were born. I know, Dad. I know. But Savannah said, she said the old locks were outdated, not safe. She's just trying to take care of the house. Take care of my house. The house I'd paid off in 1998. The house where Martha took her last breath in our bedroom upstairs. Where am I supposed to go, Daniel? Another pause. Well, maybe it's time you considered other arrangements. Savannah's been feeling like the house is crowded, and with your health issues. Other arrangements. I was 68 years old, recovering from heart surgery, and my own son was suggesting I find somewhere else to live. I see. Dad, don't be upset. This could be good for everyone. You could find a nice senior community, make friends your own age. Savannah found some great places online. Very affordable. Affordable. He was worried about affordable. And the house? Well, we'll take good care of it. Savannah's got amazing design sense. You should see what she's done with the living room. She got this incredible West Elm sectional, $28.99, and this Samsung TV, 75 inches, $3,500. The place looks like something out of a magazine. My wife's rocking chair where she nursed Daniel was gone. The bookshelf I built with my own hands was gone. 43 years of memories, erased for a magazine look. I'll get a hotel tonight, son. We'll talk tomorrow. That's great, Dad. Smart thinking. Give everyone time to adjust. Savannah's been under a lot of stress, you know? Planning the renovations, trying to make everything perfect. Perfect. She was making my house perfect by erasing me from it. I hung up and drove my 2018 Honda Civic to the Holiday Inn Express on East Camelback Road. $129 a night. The desk clerk, a young woman named Patricia Johnson, took one look at my hospital bracelet and upgraded me to a suite. You okay, sir? You look like you've been through something. You could say that. That night, lying in a hotel bed 15 miles from the house I'd called home for 4 decades, I made a decision. Savannah Pierce thought she was dealing with a helpless old man, a financial burden, a dead weight. She was about to learn otherwise. But first, I needed to understand exactly what I was dealing with. I opened my laptop and found Savannah's Instagram account. Public, of course. Followers, 47,000. Her latest post showed my living room. My living room with all new furniture and that 75-inch TV Daniel mentioned. The caption read, "Finally got to completely redesign our main living space." Sometimes you have to clear out the old to make room for the new. Fresh starts require fresh perspectives. Number home. Design number, new beginnings number. Fresh start number. Interior, design number, modern living. 2,000 likes. Hundreds of comments praising her vision and taste. Our main living space. I scrolled through weeks of posts. Pictures of her kitchen with the new KitchenAid stand mixer, $429. Her bedroom with new pottery barn bedding, $600. Her backyard with new outdoor furniture, $1,800. Every purchase made with credit cards I'd given Daniel access to. Every renovation funded by a man she was now calling dead weight. The final post from earlier that evening made my chest tight. Can't wait for Saturday's housewarming party. So excited to show everyone how we've transformed this space into our dream home. Sometimes the best changes come when you're brave enough to make hard decisions. Number housewarming, number dreams, number courage, number new chapter. Saturday, 5 days away, a housewarming party, in my house, celebrating my exile. I closed the laptop and smiled again. Savannah Pierce wanted to show people her courage, her dreams, perfect. I'd help her do exactly that. The next morning, March 16th, my phone rang at 7:42 a.m. Savannah. "Edwin, we need to talk." Not "good morning" or "how are you feeling?" Just straight to business. That's how she'd always been with me. Efficient, clinical. "Good morning, Savannah. I'm fine, thank you for asking. The surgery went well." "Right. Listen, I know yesterday was awkward, but Daniel and I have been talking, and we think this transition is actually the best thing for everyone." Transition? Like I was a phase they were moving past. What transition is that? "Edwin, let's be honest. You're 68 years old. You just had major heart surgery. You're living on Social Security, maybe $2,400 a month. This house costs over $3,000 a month just to maintain. Insurance, utilities, property taxes, maintenance. It's not sustainable." I stayed quiet, let her talk. "Daniel's been carrying the financial burden for years. The mortgage payments, the upkeep, all of it. We're young, we're building careers. We deserve to live in a space that reflects our future, not your past. Our future, not your past. And frankly, Edwin, having you around has been limiting. We can't entertain properly. We can't host friends. Everything has to be quiet because you're always sleeping or watching your old TV shows. We're in our prime years and we feel like we're living in a retirement home." She was just getting started. "The truth is, you're honestly just dead weight at this point. Daniel won't say it because he's too kind, but I will. You contribute nothing to this household except guilt and obligation. We pay for everything. We clean around your mess. We tiptoe around your schedule. It's exhausting." Dead weight. "This house deserves people who can actually afford to maintain it, who can appreciate it, who have energy and plans and dreams bigger than afternoon naps and pill organizers." I let her finish, then I spoke, my voice calm and measured. "Are you done?" "I'm being honest, Edwin. Someone needs to be." "Okay, can I ask you a question?" "What?" "Have you ever seen the property deed for this house?" Pause. "What do you mean?" "The legal document that shows who owns this house. Have you ever seen it?" "Daniel owns the house. We own the house. His name is on everything." "Is it?" Another pause, longer this time. "Edwin, if you're trying to make this difficult..." "I'm not trying to make anything difficult, Savannah. I'm just curious about something. You mentioned I live on Social Security. What makes you think that? Because you're 68 years old and retired? Because you wear the same 3 outfits and drive a Honda Civic? Because you shop at Costco and use coupons? It's pretty obvious. I do shop at Costco. Great prices, and coupons are smart money management. Right. Look, Edwin, maybe it's time you accepted your new reality. Daniel and I are taking over the house payments. We're building equity. We're investing in our future. You can't contribute meaningfully to that anymore. New reality. So the furniture you bought this week, the $28.99 sectional, the $3,500 TV, the $400 mixer. How did you pay for those? That's none of your business. Actually, it is my business. Because those purchases were made with credit cards linked to bank accounts I monitor pretty carefully. Silence. Savannah, you still there? What are you trying to say, Edwin? I'm not trying to say anything. I'm saying it directly. You spent $4,700 of my money this week while I was having surgery. Money from accounts you don't have permission to access. Daniel has access to those accounts. Daniel made those purchases. Did he? Because the credit card company called yesterday to verify some unusual activity. Apparently, someone in Phoenix was making large furniture purchases while the cardholder was in surgery. They wanted to make sure it wasn't fraud. I could hear her breathing change. Is it fraud, Savannah? I don't have to listen to this. No, you don't. But you will listen to this. Tomorrow morning, I'm calling Bank of America. I'm canceling every credit card Daniel has access to. I'm also calling Arizona, Public Service, and Southwest Gas. Guess whose name is on all the utility accounts? You can't do that. I can, and I will. You want to talk about reality? Here's reality. You're living in my house, spending my money, and treating me like garbage. But that ends now. Edwin, you're being vindictive. This is exactly why we need space from you. You're bitter and controlling, and I'm being clear. You called me dead weight. You said I contribute nothing. Perfect. Then you won't mind losing my contributions. I hung up. 2 minutes later, she called back. Edwin, pick up! Edwin! We need to work this out. I let it go to voicemail. 3 more calls. 3 more voicemails. Each one a little more desperate, a little less condescending. By the 4th voicemail, she was offering compromises. Maybe I could have the guest room. Maybe we could work out a schedule. Maybe she'd been hasty. I deleted them all. Then I made a phone call of my own to someone who'd been waiting 25 years to have a conversation with me about my financial situation. Richard Blackwood's office. This is Jennifer. Jennifer, this is Edwin Brooks. Is Richard available? I need about an hour of his time today, and tell him to bring his property law books. Saturday's housewarming party was looking more interesting by the minute, but that was just the beginning. Richard Blackwood had been my attorney since 1999. He handled Martha's will, my business contracts, and every real estate transaction I'd made over the past 25 years. At 71, he was 3 years older than me, but sharp as the day we met. His office on Central Avenue hadn't changed much. Same oak desk, same law books, same picture of him shaking hands with former Governor Janet Napolitano. But the conversation we were about to have would be different from any we'd had before. Edwin, you look terrible. How was the surgery? Surgery went fine, Richard. It's the recovery that's been interesting. I told him everything. The changed locks, the Instagram posts, Savannah's phone call, every detail, every dollar amount, every insult. Richard took notes on a yellow legal pad, the kind he'd used for decades. When I finished, he set down his pen and looked at me for a long moment. Edwin, I have to ask, are you sure you want to do this? Family disputes can get ugly fast. They already got ugly, Richard. The question is whether I'm going to let them stay ugly on her terms or mine. He opened a thick file folder with my name on it. Inside were documents I hadn't looked at in years. Property deeds, trust papers, business and corporation documents, financial statements. Let's review what we're working with, he said, spreading papers across his desk. Property ownership first. He pulled out 6 property deeds. 6. The house on Maple Street, where you've been living, purchased 1981, paid off 1998. Current assessed value $850,000. That was just the beginning. The duplex on Thomas Road, purchased 1987. Current rental income $1,800 per month. Both units occupied. The fourplex on McDowell, purchased 1992. Current rental income $4,600 per month. The commercial building on Camelback, purchased 1995. Current rental income $5,200 per month. The Phoenix Mountain Preserve lot, purchased 2001. Current assessed value $1.2 million. And the Scottsdale rental property, purchased 2018. Current rental income $2,800 per month. He looked up from the papers. Total monthly rental income $18,500. Annual rental income $222,000. But we weren't done. Investment accounts, Richard continued, pulling out Bank of America statements. Charles Schwab portfolio, $12.4 million. Bank of America private client account, $4.7 million. Treasury bonds, $3.1 million. Money market, $1.1 million. Total liquid assets, $21.3 million. The numbers hung in the air between us. Edwin, I've been managing your finances for 25 years, and I still can't believe you live like you do. The Honda Civic, the Kirkland jeans, the coupon clipping. Why? Because Martha and I learned the value of money the hard way. Because wealth that shows off isn't wealth that lasts. Because I wanted to see who my family really was when they thought I had nothing to offer. I thought about Savannah's phone call, dead weight, financial burden, contributing nothing. Well, now you know, Richard said quietly. Now I know. He pulled out another document, a magazine article from Forbes, dated 6 months ago. Phoenix's Quiet Millionaires, the Invisible Real Estate Empire of Edwin Brooks. I'd forgotten about that article. A reporter had somehow tracked down my property holdings and written a piece about stealth wealth in Arizona. I'd refused to be interviewed, but public records don't lie. Any chance your daughter-in-law has seen this? Doubtful. She doesn't read Forbes. She reads Instagram. Richard smiled. Well, she's about to get an education. We spent the next hour planning. Richard would prepare eviction notices for Monday delivery. He'd also prepare cease and desist letters regarding unauthorized use of my credit accounts. What about your son? He asked. That was the hardest part. Daniel wasn't evil like Savannah. He was weak, easily influenced. He'd chosen his wife over his father, but maybe that could be fixed. Maybe. Daniel gets one chance to make this right, one conversation to choose which side he's on. And if he chooses wrong, then he learns the same lesson she's about to learn. That respect is earned, not inherited. Richard gathered the documents into a neat stack. Edwin, I have to say, in 35 years of practice, I've never seen a case quite like this. The financial disparity is stunning. Money isn't everything, Richard. No, but it's something. And in this case, it's the only language she seems to understand. I stood to leave, then turned back. Oh, and Richard? Saturday night, Savannah's throwing a housewarming party at my house. Apparently, she's invited 50 or 60 people to celebrate her fresh start. Richard's eyes lit up. How interesting. I thought you might think so. Clear your Saturday evening. I have a feeling you'll want to be there. Wouldn't miss it for the world. By tomorrow, she'd understand her mistake. Thursday morning, March 16th, 3:17 p.m. I made the first call. Arizona Public Service, this is Michelle. How can I help you? Hi, Michelle, this is Edwin Brooks. I need to disconnect service at 4127 Maple Street, Phoenix, Arizona. I can help with that, Mr. Brooks. Can you verify your account information? I gave her my customer number, my social security number, and the answers to 2 security questions. The account I'd held for 43 years. And what date would you like service disconnected? Today? Today? Sir, that's very short notice. We typically require... Michelle, I'm the homeowner. I've been paying this bill for 4 decades. I want the power shut off today. Pause. Typing. Mr. Brooks, I show you're current on your account. Actually, you're one of our most reliable customers. Is there a problem with service? No problem with service. Problem with unauthorized people living in my house. Oh, I see. Okay, sir, I can schedule disconnection for between 4 and 6 p.m. today. You'll need to call to schedule reconnection when you're ready. Thank you, Michelle. Second call. Southwest Gas Company. Southwest Gas, this is David. Same conversation, same timeline. Gas service disconnected by 5 p.m. Third call. Cox Communications. Cox Communications, this is Ashley. Ashley, I need to cancel internet and cable service at 4127 Maple Street. Can I ask why you're canceling, Mr. Brooks? Squatters. Oh my, I'm sorry to hear that, sir. I can process immediate disconnection. 3 calls, 27 minutes, 3 essential services cut. My phone rang at 5:43 p.m. Daniel. Dad? Dad, what did you do? The power's out. The gas is off. Savannah's freaking out. I disconnected my utilities from my house, son. But we live here. We need power. We need heat. Savannah's got people coming over tomorrow to see the renovations. Then she should probably get her own utilities connected. Dad, this is crazy. You can't just... Daniel, let me ask you something. Who pays the electric bill for that house? Silence. Who pays the gas bill? The internet? The water? Well, you do, but... Right, I do. And as of today, I don't. If Savannah wants to live in my house without me, she can pay for the privilege. Dad, please. Just turn them back on. We'll figure something out. I offered to figure something out yesterday. Your wife called me dead weight, said I contribute nothing. Well, now she's right. I'm contributing nothing. I hung up. 20 minutes later, my phone rang again. This time it was Savannah. Edwin, this is ridiculous. There are people coming to look at the house tomorrow. I have a housewarming party Saturday. You're sabotaging everything. I'm not sabotaging anything. I'm just not paying for it anymore. The utilities will take days to transfer. Maybe weeks? You know that. Yes, I do know that. I also know that Arizona Public Service requires a deposit for new customers, usually around $500. Southwest Gas wants about $300. Cox Communications, another $200. I paused, let her do the math. That's assuming they approve your credit applications. My credit is fine. Good. Then you should have the power back on by the end of next week. Edwin, you're being unreasonable. I'm calling Daniel. You do that? She hung up. My phone immediately rang again. Daniel. Dad, Savannah says you're demanding thousands of dollars in deposits. That's insane. I'm not demanding anything, son. I'm just not paying for utilities at a house I'm not allowed to live in. But the party? What party? The housewarming party? Savannah's invited 50 people. They're all coming Saturday night. 50 people. Even better than I'd hoped. That sounds wonderful. I hope they have flashlights. Dad? Daniel, let me explain something to you. Your wife spent $4,700 of my money this week buying furniture for my house while I was having surgery. Money from accounts she has no legal right to access. That's called theft. It's not theft. We're family. Family doesn't lock family members out of their own homes, son. Long pause. Dad, what do you want? Finally, the right question. I want respect. I want honesty. And I want your wife to understand that actions have consequences. What if we apologize? What if we give you a key? What if we work out some kind of arrangement? Too late for apologies. Too late for arrangements. Daniel, here's what's going to happen. Saturday night, your wife is having a party in my house that I bought, that I own, that I pay for. She's going to show off my furniture, my renovations, my money to 50 strangers. Okay, and I'm going to be there. You're coming to the party? It's my house, son. I don't need an invitation. I hung up before he could respond. At 7:15 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text from Savannah. We can work this out. Don't ruin Saturday. I didn't respond. At 8:30 p.m. Edwin, please. I'm sorry about what I said. I was stressed. Still no response. At 9:45 p.m. I'll give you money for the deposits. Just please turn the utilities back on. Finally, at 11:20 p.m. Fine, have your party. But after Saturday, we're done with this games. I smiled and typed back my first response of the evening. See you Saturday, Savannah. I wouldn't miss it. But that was just the beginning. Savannah Pierce thought she was dealing with a vindictive old man who'd gotten lucky with utility companies. She had no idea what was coming. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Tomorrow she'd try to fight back. But I'd been preparing for this fight for 25 years, and I had weapons she couldn't even imagine. Saturday night was going to be very educational for everyone. Friday morning, March 17th, 11:23 a.m. I was in the Holiday Inn Express lobby, drinking coffee and reading the Arizona Republic, when Patricia Johnson approached my table. Mr. Brooks, there's someone here to see you. A young woman. She seems upset. Through the lobby windows, I could see Savannah's white BMW X3 in the parking lot. $68,000, according to the dealer sticker still in the window. Financed, no doubt, with credit she wouldn't have without my co-signature. Send her in, Patricia. This should be interesting. Savannah marched through the lobby like she owned the place. Designer jeans, Cartier watch, Louis Vuitton purse. All purchased in the last year. All purchased with money that ultimately came from my accounts. She sat down across from me without being invited. Edwin, we need to end this nonsense. Good morning to you too, Savannah. How did you sleep last night? Cold? Her face flushed. The house got down to 57 degrees. We had to sleep in the guest room with every blanket we could find. Sounds uncomfortable. It was. And this morning, the food in the refrigerator started spoiling. The internet's down, so I can't work from home. Daniel had to drive to Starbucks just to use Wi-Fi. Inconvenient. She leaned forward, lowering her voice. Look, I'm sorry about what I said on the phone. I was frustrated. I shouldn't have called you what I called you. Dead weight. She couldn't even repeat it. Apology noted. So you'll turn the utilities back on? No. Edwin. Her voice rose, drawing looks from other hotel guests. This is ridiculous. You're being petty and vindictive. I'm being consistent. You said I contribute nothing to the household. Now I contribute nothing to the household. Fine. You contribute. You matter. Is that what you want to hear? What I want to hear is the truth, Savannah. And the truth is, you don't believe I matter. You believe I'm in your way. She looked around the lobby, checking if anyone was listening, then leaned closer. Okay, yes, you're in our way. Daniel and I are trying to build a life together, and having his elderly father living with us is limiting. We can't have friends over. We can't play music. We can't live like people our age. Everything revolves around your schedule, your needs, your comfort. Finally, honesty. But that doesn't mean we want you homeless. We just want space, independence, a chance to be a normal married couple. In my house. In our house. Daniel's name is on the mortgage. I pulled out my phone and opened the voice recording app. Set it on the table between us. Savannah, I want you to say that again. For the record. Say what again? That Daniel's name is on the mortgage for 4,127 Maple Street. She stared at the phone. Why are you recording me? Because I want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said Daniel's name is on the mortgage. It is. What's the mortgage company? What? The mortgage company. Who holds the loan on the house? She blinked. I don't... Daniel handles all that. Does he? Because I paid off that house in 1998. There is no mortgage, Savannah. There hasn't been a mortgage in 26 years. I watched her face change as the implications hit her. The property deed has one name on it, Edwin Michael Brooks, not Daniel Brooks, not Savannah Pierce Brooks, just me. That's impossible. Patricia, I called to the hotel manager who'd been watching our conversation with obvious concern. Would you mind witnessing something for me? Patricia approached our table. Is everything okay here? Perfectly fine. Patricia, this is my daughter-in-law, Savannah. Savannah, tell Patricia, who owns the house at 4127 Maple Street. Savannah's mouth opened, but no words came out. I'll be happy to tell her, I said quietly. I do. Patricia looked confused, but she nodded politely and returned to the front desk. Tomorrow night, I continued, you're having a housewarming party. In my house. You've invited 50 people to celebrate your fresh start in a home you don't own, can't afford, and have no legal right to occupy. Savannah stood up abruptly. This isn't over, Edwin. No, I agreed, it's not. But after tomorrow night, it will be... She walked out without another word. Saturday's party was less than 30 hours away, but she wasn't done fighting yet. Friday afternoon, Savannah went nuclear. At 2:47 p.m., my phone started buzzing with notifications. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. She was tagging me in posts I didn't even know I had accounts for. I opened Instagram on my laptop. Her latest post had a picture of the dark house, taken from outside. Family drama update. Some people become bitter and vindictive when they feel they're losing control. Currently being harassed by a family member who's trying to ruin our housewarming party tomorrow night by cutting off utilities to our home. When elderly relatives become manipulative and abusive, sometimes you have to set firm boundaries. Number elder, abuse. Number toxic, family. Number boundaries, number stay strong. Number support. Elder abuse. She was accusing me of elder abuse. The post already had 300 likes and 47 comments, all supportive of poor Savannah dealing with her toxic father-in-law. OMG girl, so sorry you're dealing with this. Elderly men can be so controlling. Stay strong? Can you get a restraining order? This is emotional manipulation. Don't let him win. My phone rang. Daniel. Dad, what the hell is going on? Savannah's posting about you on social media. People are calling you abusive. Your wife is creative. I'll give her that. This isn't funny. Her post is going viral. People are sharing it. She's got 47,000 followers, Dad. This is getting out of hand. Good. Good? Dad, she's making you look like a monster? Let her. Saturday night. We'll see who the real monster is. But Savannah wasn't finished. At 4:15 p.m., she posted again, this time with a video. I watched her sitting in the cold, dark living room, speaking directly to the camera. Hey everyone, thanks for all the support on my last post. I wanted to give you an update on the situation with Daniel's father. He's escalated things even further today. She held up printed copies of utility bills. He called and had our electricity, gas, and internet disconnected. Not his utilities. Ours. Utilities we pay for in our name, for our home. Lies. Complete lies, but convincing ones. Daniel and I have been supporting his father for 3 years, paying his medical bills, buying his groceries, giving him a place to live, and when we finally asked for a little space to start our own family, he retaliated by trying to make us homeless. The video continued for 4 minutes. 4 minutes of carefully crafted half-truths and outright lies. She talked about my drinking problem. I have 2 beers a week. My angry outbursts. I'd raised my voice exactly once in 3 years. My financial demands. I'd never asked them for a penny. By 6 p.m., the video had 800 views and 63 comments. The comments were getting more aggressive. Call Adult Protective Services. This is elder abuse and domestic abuse. Can you press charges? Document everything. Get a lawyer. My phone was ringing constantly. Numbers I didn't recognize. Friends who'd somehow found the posts. Even my doctor's office called to check on my mental state. At 7:30 p.m., Patricia Johnson knocked on my hotel room door. Mr. Brooks? I'm sorry to bother you, but we've had several calls about you today. People asking if you're okay, if you need help. One woman wanted to know if we could do a welfare check. I'm fine, Patricia. Just fine. Sir, I don't know what's going on with your family, but if you need anything... Actually, there is something you could do for me. Of course. Tomorrow night, around 8:30, I'm going to need a witness. Someone neutral. Someone with no stake in family drama. Would you be willing to help? She studied my face. What kind of witness? The kind that watches the truth come out. Patricia hesitated. Mr. Brooks, I've been managing hotels for 12 years. I've seen a lot of family disputes. Most of them end badly for everyone involved. This one's going to be different. How can you be sure? I smiled. Because most family disputes don't involve $21 million. Her eyes widened. Patricia, what you're seeing on social media is a very one-sided story. Tomorrow night, people are going to hear the other side. And you want me there when that happens? I want someone there who can testify later that everything was done legally, civilly, and with proper documentation. She nodded slowly. What time? 8:30 p.m. 4127 Maple Street. Bring your phone. You'll want to record what happens next. By 10 p.m. Friday night, Savannah's video had 1,200 views. Her follower count had jumped to 49,000. The local news had even picked up the story. KPNX Channel 12 ran a segment about elder abuse in upscale neighborhoods. Let them run it. Let them share it. Let 49,000 people watch. Because Saturday night, 50 people were going to learn the truth in person. And by Sunday morning, 49,000 followers were going to know exactly who Savannah Pierce really was. Saturday's party was 18 hours away. Time to gather my evidence. Saturday morning, March 18th. Party day. I spent the morning at Richard Blackwood's office organizing documents into clear plastic folders. Everything needed to be perfect, professional, and undeniable. Edwin, this is the most thorough evidence package I've ever assembled, Richard said, sliding papers into labeled sections. 25 years of financial records, and it tells quite a story. Folder 1, Property Ownership. 6 property deeds, all with my name as sole owner. The house on Maple Street, purchased for $87,000 in 1981. Current assessed value, $850,000. Property taxes paid annually, $14,200. Paid by me for 43 years. Folder 2, Financial Statements, Bank of America. Private client account statements. The current balance made Richard whistle every time he saw it. $21.3 million. You know what amazes me most? Richard asked. Your monthly expenses are lower than most people making $50,000 a year. He was right. My monthly spending, groceries, some $400, gas, $120, clothing, maybe $50, entertainment, $0. The Honda Civic was paid off. My health insurance was excellent. I lived like a monk with a Midas touch. Folder 3, the Forbes article. Phoenix's Quiet Millionaires, The Invisible Real Estate Empire of Edwin Brooks. Published 6 months ago. I'd never given an interview, but public property records don't lie. According to county records, I read aloud, Brooks quietly assembled one of Phoenix's most impressive real estate portfolios over 4 decades. His holdings include residential rentals, commercial properties, and undeveloped land worth an estimated $34 million. $34 million? That was just the real estate. Folder 4, Credit Card Statements. Every purchase Savannah and Daniel had made in the past 6 months. The West Elm Sectional, $28.99. The Samsung TV, $3,500. The KitchenAid mixer, $429. The Restoration Hardware dining set, $4,200. Total unauthorized spending, $18,600. Folder 5, legal documents. Eviction notices prepared, but not yet served. Cease and desist orders regarding credit card fraud. A formal complaint to the Phoenix Police Department about unauthorized access to financial accounts. What time is the party? Richard asked. 7 p.m., but we won't arrive until 8:30. Why wait? Because I want the party in full swing. I want the house full of witnesses. I want Savannah confident and comfortable before we change the conversation. Richard smiled. You know, Edwin, in 35 years of practice, I've never had a client plan a revelation quite like this. Most clients don't have 25 years of patience. At 2 p.m., I drove to my bank. Bank of America private client branch on Camelback Road. Margaret Thompson, my account manager for 15 years, was waiting for me. Mr. Brooks, Mr. Blackwood called. He said you needed some special documentation. That's right, Margaret. I need printed statements for all my accounts. Current balances, transaction histories, everything. She handed me a leather portfolio. It's all here. Investment accounts, checking, savings, money market, CDs, everything. I opened it. The first page showed my total liquid assets. $21,347,812.33. Margaret, I need you to initial each page and stamp them with the bank seal. These documents might end up in court. Of course, sir. Is everything all right? Everything's about to be perfect. At 4 p.m., I returned to the hotel. Patricia Johnson was at the front desk. Mr. Brooks, I've been thinking about tonight. Are you sure you want me there? This sounds like a very private family matter. Patricia, it stopped being private when my daughter-in-law posted videos about me to 49,000 people. Now it's a public matter, and public matters need public witnesses. I handed her a business card. That's my attorney's number. If anyone questions your presence tonight, have them call Richard. What should I expect? Expect to see someone learn that actions have consequences. Expect to see 25 years of assumptions get corrected in about 15 minutes. At 6 p.m., I got dressed. Not in my usual Kirkland jeans and polo shirt. Tonight, I wore the navy blue suit I'd bought for Martha's funeral, the Timex watch I'd worn for 20 years, the wedding ring I still couldn't bring myself to remove. I looked in the mirror, 68 years old, recent heart surgery, living in a hotel because his own family had locked him out. But appearances can be deceiving. At 6:30 p.m., Richard called. Edwin, everything's ready. The documents are perfect. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Richard, 3 days ago, my daughter-in-law called me dead weight. Said I contribute nothing. Tonight, 50 people are going to learn exactly what I contribute. And if she tries to stop you, she can't stop the truth. And the truth is very simple. I own everything she thinks she owns, and she owns nothing she thinks she owns. 7:45 p.m. Time to go. Saturday night's party was about to become Saturday night's education. 50 people were expecting a housewarming. They were about to get a reckoning. 8:27 p.m. I pulled into the driveway of 4127 Maple Street. My driveway, my house, my property. The house was blazing with light, battery-powered lanterns and candles everywhere. Smart solution for a party without electricity. Cars lined both sides of the street. BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Tesla. Savannah's crowd lived well. Through the windows, I could see dozens of people. The party was in full swing, just as I'd hoped. Patricia Johnson parked behind me. She looked nervous. Mr. Brooks, last chance to change your mind. Patricia, I've been planning this moment for 3 days. I'm not changing my mind. Richard Blackwood pulled up in his Lexus. At 71, he still commanded attention. Tonight, he was my legal witness and backup. Edwin, you ready for this? I've been ready for 25 years. We walked to the front door together. I could hear music, laughter, conversation, the sound of people enjoying themselves in my house. I rang the doorbell. Daniel answered. He looked surprised, then panicked. Dad? What are you doing here? Coming to the housewarming party, son? In my house. Dad, this isn't a good time. Savannah's got friends here, people from work, and... Perfect. I love meeting new people. I walked past him into my own living room. The party stopped. 52 people by my count, all staring at the elderly man who just crashed their celebration. The music kept playing, but every conversation died. Savannah appeared from the kitchen, holding a glass of wine. When she saw me, her face went white. Edwin, what are you doing here? Savannah, you look lovely. Thank you for the invitation. You weren't invited. Wasn't I? This is my house. I thought all homeowners were automatically invited to parties in their own homes. A murmur went through the crowd. People looking confused, whispering to each other. Everyone, Savannah announced loudly. This is Daniel's father, Edwin. He's been having some difficulties lately. Family issues. We're working through them. Difficulties? Family issues. Actually, I said, my voice carrying easily through the room, we're not working through anything. We're here to resolve some basic questions about property ownership and legal residence. I pulled out my first folder. Property deeds. Savannah, you've been telling people this is your house, your home, your fresh start. Is that correct? She glanced around at her guests, then back at me. This is our home, yes. Our home, meaning you and Daniel. Yes, and these people are here to celebrate your housewarming, your successful renovation of your house. Edwin, what are you trying to... I'm trying to clarify something for everyone here. I opened the folder and pulled out the first document. This is the property deed for 4127 Maple Street, Phoenix, Arizona, filed with the Maricopa County Recorder's Office, purchased March 15th, 1981. I held it up so people could see the official county seal. The owner of record is Edwin Michael Brooks, not Daniel Brooks, not Savannah Pierce Brooks, not Daniel and Savannah Brooks. Just me. The room went completely silent. Furthermore, I continued pulling out more documents. This property was paid off in full on June 12th, 1998. There is no mortgage, no loan, no financing of any kind. A woman near the kitchen spoke up. Savannah, what's he talking about? Savannah's face was red now. He's confused. He's elderly. He's been in the hospital. He's not thinking clearly. I'm thinking very clearly, I replied. Clear enough to bring witnesses. Richard stepped forward. Good evening, everyone. I'm Richard Blackwood, Mr. Brooks's attorney for the past 25 years. I can confirm that everything he's saying is legally accurate. Patricia held up her phone. I'm Patricia Johnson, manager of the Holiday Inn Express, where Mr. Brooks has been staying since Wednesday. I'm recording this conversation as a neutral witness. Now people were really confused. A few started moving toward the door. Wait, I said. We're just getting started. I pulled out folder 2. Bank statements. Savannah, you've been telling people, including my son, that I'm a financial burden, that I live on Social Security, that I can't afford to maintain this house. Is that correct? She didn't answer. You called me dead weight. Said I contribute nothing to this household? Do you remember that conversation? Still no answer. Let me share some information about my financial contributions. I opened the Bank of America statement. Current balance in my primary account, $21,347,812.33. Gasps. Actual gasps from the crowd. Monthly rental income from my 6 properties, $18,500. A man in a polo shirt dropped his beer bottle. It shattered on my hardwood floor. Annual property tax payments for this house alone, $14,200, paid by me for 43 years. I pulled out the Forbes article. This is from Forbes magazine, published 6 months ago. Phoenix's Quiet Millionaires, the Invisible Real Estate Empire of Edwin Brooks. According to this article, my total net worth is estimated at $55 million. The room was dead silent now. People weren't just staring, they were filming. Phone cameras everywhere pointed at me, at Savannah, at the documents. Savannah, I continued, you've spent the past week telling these people about your fresh start, your dream home, your courage in making hard decisions. Would you like to tell them about the hard decisions you made? She was shaking now. Edwin, stop. You changed the locks on my house while I was having heart surgery. Edwin, you spent $18,600 of my money in 1 week buying furniture for my house. That's not. You called me deadweight and told me to find somewhere else to live. I pulled out the credit card statements. March 13th, while I was in surgery. West Elm sectional sofa, $2,899. Charged to my American Express card. March 14th, while I was in recovery. Samsung 75-inch TV, $3,500. Charged to my Visa card. March 15th, the day you locked me out. KitchenAid stand mixer, $429. Pottery Barn throw pillows, $367. Restoration hardware dining set, $4,200. All charged to my accounts. A woman near the door spoke up. Savannah, is this true? Savannah looked around the room. 52 people, all staring at her, all waiting for an answer. Daniel has access to those accounts. We thought, he said his father wanted us to. Daniel, I said, turning to my son, when did I give you permission to spend $18,000 of my money? Daniel looked like he wanted to disappear. Dad, you said we were family. You said what's yours is ours. When did I say that, son? I thought. Savannah said. The truth was coming out. 52 witnesses watching it happen in real time. Ladies and gentlemen, I announced, you're here to celebrate a housewarming. You've been told this is Savannah and Daniel's house. You've been told they're starting fresh, building their dream home. I pulled out the final document, the eviction notice. This is a formal eviction notice prepared by my attorney. Effective immediately, Savannah Pierce and Daniel Brooks have 72 hours to vacate this property. Chaos. People talking all at once. Someone shouted, "Oh my God!" A woman was crying. Daniel looked like he might faint. But wait, I said, raising my voice. There's more. I pulled out my phone and opened Savannah's Instagram account. Savannah, you've been posting about me all week, calling me abusive, vindictive, manipulative. You've told 49,000 followers that I'm an elderly man having a breakdown. I held up the phone so people could see her posts. What you haven't told them is that you're living rent-free in a millionaire's house, spending his money without permission, and calling him names when he objects. I turned to face the crowd directly. Ladies and gentlemen, you came here for a housewarming party. Instead, you've witnessed a masterclass in entitlement, theft, and elder abuse. The real kind of elder abuse, where young people steal from old people and then call them crazy when they object. Savannah finally spoke, her voice barely a whisper. Edwin, please. Please what, Savannah? Please continue letting you steal from me. Please continue pretending you own my house. Please continue paying for your lifestyle while you call me dead weight. I looked around the room one final time. The party's over, folks. Thanks for coming to my house. Sunday morning, March 19th, 9:17 a.m. The eviction notice was served at exactly 9 a.m. Maricopa County Sheriff's Deputy Martinez handed it to Savannah at the front door of my house. By 10 a.m., Richard had filed formal charges with the Phoenix Police Department. Credit card fraud, $18,600. Trespassing. Unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Turns out the BMW was leased under my credit. By noon, Savannah's Instagram account was flooded with comments, not the supportive ones she was used to. The party videos had gone viral. Hashtag House Party Exposed was trending locally. OMG, I can't believe I fell for her lies. This woman is a complete fraud. Elder abuse? She was abusing him. Delete your account and disappear. Her follower count dropped from 49,000 to 31,000 by Sunday evening. Daniel called me at 2 p.m. Dad, we need to talk. Yes, we do. Savannah's filing for divorce. She's moving back to California. She said this was all my fault for not telling her about your money. Is that what she said? She's furious. She says I made her look like an idiot in front of all her friends. Daniel, you have a choice to make. You can go with her, or you can stay and rebuild our relationship. But you can't do both. Long pause. I want to stay, Dad. I want to fix this. Good. But there are conditions. Whatever you want. First, you get a job, a real job. No more living off my money. Okay. Second, you start paying rent. $600 a month. Market rate for a room. I can do that. Third, we go to family counseling together, once a week for 6 months. Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about everything. Sorry is a start, son, but trust takes time to rebuild. Monday morning, the Arizona Republic ran a follow-up story. Viral video reveals millionaire's secret life. The reporter had tracked down several party guests. We thought we were watching a sweet old man lose his mind, one guest told the paper. Turns out we were watching a con artist get exposed. Tuesday morning, I moved back into my house. My house with my furniture paid for with my money. The locks got changed again. This time I kept all the keys. Respect isn't inherited, it's earned. And sometimes it takes $21 million to teach that lesson.